Hey guys, Ark here, bringing to you another creeping video. So I know I said on the previous video that was going to be my last one, but I just recently learned something that is pretty important. It's one of those minor things that you may not necessarily think about, but is something that can actually really affect your creeping speed on certain maps. I'm going to show, this video is going to be a little bit different than what I've done in the past. And I'm trying to do a little bit of editing stuff that I haven't done before, so apologies if it kind of falls flat on its face. But essentially, I'm going to show what I'm going to try and do what I'm going to be verbally explaining, and then we're going to show a side-by-side, a very rough attempt at showing an example of just how fast it can improve the creeping. So the example I'm going to do on Echo Isles. But off the top of my head, I can think of Northern Isles, Last Refuge, Terrain of Stand. Actually, I can think of an example of using it for that. Twisted Meadow. Okay, I can come up with an example of all of these actually of creep camps that could make use of this. Essentially, what I'm going to be covering is de-aggroing your Ancient of War. So some of you may be well familiar with de-aggroing the Ancient of War if the Ancient of War is on low HP, to force the creeps to stop attacking it and go after your own units. It's the same concept as swapping aggro on your units. Like if I want to de-aggro my hero to force the creeps to attack a different unit, you just take your hero, click onto a building or onto another unit you have, and it will swap the aggro to something else. We're going to do the same thing with that, but for an Ancient of War. So what we're trying to do is on a lot of these creep camps that I just kind of mentioned some maps I have creep camps that I could use for. Echo Isles in particular, we're going to be doing the first creep camp that we would often AOW creep, that one with the 2 trappers and the ogre. Often what happens on this map is one of the trappers and the ogre get drawn towards the AOW when you aggro it with your archer. So essentially one of the trappers still stays off in La La Land. You basically have to walk your AOW to that creep in order to kill it. Which basically the time that you could be potentially save by having both trappers run to the AOW is the time it takes to walk your AOW from point A to point B. And that's what we're really trying to get after. So it's a very small amount of time, but it's time that it could be very important depending on the matchup. So in particular, I'm thinking like the Orc matchup where the timings can work out so crisply, I don't think that's a word, but so tightly that a certain creep route will open up to you because you can creep because you can creep this camp a little bit faster. For instance, basically the AOW camp to the green camp below your base. That's often a point where Orc players, depending on their build, will jack you at, and if you can creep your AOW camp a little bit faster, that might allow you to get enough time to creep level 2 from the green camp. Don't know that for sure. I'm just throwing out thoughts of how the time that you save could be impactful. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump into this game. Oops, we'll create it. Jump into this game, and then I have 2 replays that I'll compare side by side just to kind of show the impact of it. So again, this all hinges on de-aggroing with your AOW. Of what I'm doing, and worst comes to worst, I'll just go ahead and play the clips. Boom, drawn, and there we go. So you see how that last trapper moved a little bit closer. So essentially, boots of speed. Okay, this Echo Isles definitely is not correct. So this very well could be an issue with the recent patch or something, because I haven't updated my practice map with the recent patch, because boots of speed should not be my item. That's very interesting, actually. But I think you guys get the idea. That's what I'm trying to do with this is basically draw aggro off the AOW to force the other trapper to get closer. So thankfully I have 2 videos which I can show side by side to try and play it. So I'm going to try and start them at the exact same time, so bear with me. So the point I paused it is basically the first AOW attack. So 3, 2, 1. We'll do this really quickly. Boom, we did it. It's on 2x speed as well when I did the replay. So I kind of messed up the creeping here. But the AOW never missed an attack, so that's the important thing. So as you saw, all that movement there, I was already attacking with the AOW. So, I mean, I can back this up a little bit. It's not lined up perfectly, of course, but essentially, I think maybe I should have played this in 1x speed. So, anyways, I think you guys get the idea of what I'm suggesting. I'll do one last show on a different map, just to show that there is other maps that you can make use of it. Twisted Meadows, I guess, comes to mind. There, oftentimes when you do the orange Knoll Camp, ooh, and this one, my practice map of Twisted Meadows is a little bit odd, so cross your fingers that we get the right host or the right player. And we did not. Nice. Okay, we'll do a different one. We'll do Last Refuge, so we don't have to rely on luck. For basically, I messed up when I made the Twisted Meadows map. But essentially, by de-aggroing with AOW, you pull all of the creeps forward if there was any that stayed back. I can actually test this very well. So you know how I had said before, you know, I'll creep it normally, just so. Just for an example, I'll show it. So if you uproot your AOW now, this might be the best way of showing it. So the Ogre Warrior is going to be the only thing that comes into range, basically. So this is how we are right now, but watch this. See how all those trappers just moved forward? So that is essentially what I'm trying to explain to you guys. Long story short, if you ever find yourself in a position, interestingly, it boots a speed from the Ogre again. This map must be screwed up now. But if you ever find yourself in a position where the trapper is far away, or any range creep is far away, de-aggro with your AOW, pull it forward rather than spending the time walking to the creep. It will save you time overall and allow you to creep routes a little bit faster, maybe open up a different new routes for you. So just wanted to throw that in there. I'm going to try and split up the or cut out some of the wasted time in the video, so hopefully it won't be too long. But thanks for tuning in. Take care now, guys. Bye.